We now determine the eccentricity of the conic given by this equation 16x squared minus 9y squared minus 32x plus 36y plus 124 equals 0. So first we are going to rearrange this equation and write this in a standard form. So for that first I'm going to group the x variables. So I'm going to write 16x squared minus 32x. Now let me group the y variables, that is negative 9y squared plus 36y, and I also transfer this 124 to the other side, or otherwise subtract 124 from both sides, and so this will becomes negative 124. And now we are going to factor the 16 from these two terms, so we can write this as 16 times of x squared minus this one will be 2x when we factor 16. And similarly, I factor negative 9 from the y variables. And so when we do that, we get y squared minus 4y, and this equals negative 124. Now we are going to complete the square both for the x and y variables. So we rewrite this as 16 times of. We are going to complete the square for this expression, which means we take the half of the coefficient of x. The half the coefficient of x, which is 2 by 2 equals 1. We add its square and subtract its square. So we write x squared minus 2x plus 1, and when we add this 1 to this side, we should also add 1 to this side. But remember that the one that we are adding is not just 1, it's basically 16, so we have to add the 16 onto the right side as well. So I put negative 124 plus 16 here. Now let's do the completion of square for the y variable. So I write negative 9 times of, we should complete the square for y squared minus 4y. Here we take the half the coefficient of y variable, which is 4 divided by 2, and this equals 2. So we add its square. So first I write down these two terms, y squared minus 4y plus 2 squared. And then this 2 square is 4, which means 9 times of negative 4 is negative 36. So we should also add a negative 36 to this side. Now we will put this in binomial square form. So in the next step, we are going to rewrite this as 16 times of. This expression basically is the square of x minus 1, and this is a quantity square, minus 9 times of this expression is basically a binomial square, that is y minus 2 quantity square, and this equals, we will simplify this, that is negative 124 negative 36, and then adding plus 16 we get negative 144. Now divide both sides by negative 144. So on the left we divide each term by negative 144, that is 16 times of x minus 1 quantity square divided by negative 144, and then we have negative 9 times of y minus 2 quantity square, and this is also divided by negative 144, and this equals negative 144 divided by negative 144 equals 1. So I just put 1 on the right side. Now let's simplify the left sides. Uh, Here we can do the cancellation, that is 144 goes into 16 as 9 times, but since this is negative 144, this goes negative 9 times. And similarly, we can cancel these two negatives, that is negative number divided by negative number is a positive number. We'll also do the cancellation over here, that is 144 goes into 9 as 16 times. So let's rewrite this. This term is now going to be a negative term because we have a negative 9 in the denominator. So I'm going to write this as a first term, which is a positive. So I write this as y minus 2 quantity square divided by 16 minus this expression is x minus 1 quantity square divided by 9, because I already taken care of this negative which I have put here. and so this equals positive 1. Now this is the standard form of hyperbola conic, which is a hyperbola which opens in at the top as well as at the bottom, and this one basically represents the length of the double the length of the transverse axis, that is a squared equals 16, and this implies when we take the square root on both sides we get a equals 4, and this one basically represents b, that is b squared equals 9, and so taking square root we get b equals 3. And also for this hyperbola, we determine c using this relation, that is c squared equals a squared plus b squared. And so this equals a squared is 16 plus b squared is 9. And so this gives 25. That is c squared equals 25. And so this gives, taking square root, we get c equals 5. So we have determined the value of c. Now the formula to find eccentricity E equals c upon a. So it's basically a ratio of c with a. And so let's plug in the value of c, which is 5, divided by a, which is 4. So this is the eccentricity of the given conic. Otherwise, we can put this in decimal form, which equals 1.25. And so thus we have determined the eccentricity of the conic equals either 5 by 4 or 1.25.